Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to another BRAP rant. I typically don't podcast on Fridays, but some things happened today on on the on the Twitter space that I wanted to talk about. You may have seen Luca, the Ashley Luca. Big shout out to the Ashley Luca, by the way. You may have seen her rant too about what she refers to as the trash community. I'm going to talk about some of the drama in the gaming community, some of the nonsense that happens because of pieces of plastic, console wars, people getting their feelings wrapped up into stuff that they shouldn't get wrapped into. Look, there's more important things in life, and I haven't, I haven't got on my soapbox in a long time about this, and some of my BRAP compadres said, you know what, man, just leave it alone, man. Don't talk about it. Just let it go. It's not worth it. Don't give these people attention. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to name any names per se. I'm not going to do that because in that regard, they're right. I'm giving them too much recognition, giving them free airtime, free advertising. Um, and I got a special guest with me tonight, somebody who more recently was affected by some just nonsense, just some console war nonsense, some joking around maybe that went too far. But regardless, just nonsense stuff that shouldn't be going on in the community over video games, over plastic boxes, over toys. So, without further ado, make his return to the Basement Radio Arcade podcast. We've had him on the show before. J Dub, aka Kratos. J Dub, welcome back, man.
Yo, yo, yo. What up, everybody? It's your boy J Dub, aka Kratos, the god of PlayStation and all things gaming. I am back once again. And it's always good being on here. So
it's good to have you back, man.
I kind of feel like a regular. I think I've been on here quite a few times. So
yeah, we've had you on quite a few times, man.
Yeah.
I think there was a streak where you were on with us like 2 or 3 weeks straight or something.
I know, right? I know.
But
that's why I say it kind of feels like home. So
yeah, well, I wanted to get you on, man, because you recently gone through some things. Your Twitter account got banned. But real quick, before we get to the drama and everything, I want to tell everyone about my evening tonight. My evening. So big shout out to Gaming Forte, who's one of my co-hosts on BRAP. He hit us up on the BRAP DM. He said, "Hey guys, go to GameStop. GameStop is selling the God of War Collector's Edition bundle for $60 right now. And so if you're interested in that, it's a great deal. I think they were retailing. I think for over $100 when it was released.
Yeah, I bought it for like $149.
So $150 then. Okay. So you got the one with what is it, like it came with like a 9-inch statue or something?
It came with the statue. It came with a map. It was kind of like a cloth map. It came with a bunch of the little symbols inside of God of War and stuff like that. An actual book. It comes with a God of War book.
And then it come with like 2 little like figurines or something.
Yeah, that's what I meant earlier when I said the little statue thing.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, and so you paid $150 for it then.
Yep.
So it's retailing now for $60. So hey, if anyone's out there, you guys are interested, run your local GameStop, give them a call. Mine has 2. I reserve both. I'm going to pick up both tomorrow. So listen to this. So I was telling J-Dub this before. Hey, what's up, Forte? Forte says, welcome back from jail, Kratos.
Yo, 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 Forte. Feels good being out of lockdown.
Oh, man. So so Forte told us about this, and I'm all excited. I call my GameStop. Tell them I'm going to be out there. They're getting ready to close in about an hour or so. And I call them around 8 o'clock. I get out there, man. I'm driving, right? And Kratos, man, I'm talking about downpour, raining. I can barely see, man. Yeah. I can barely see on my windshield. And I'm driving. I make it to the GameStop. I pull up. And the GameStop it's in a big shopping center. There's actually a grocery store, a bunch of restaurants and stuff, other retail outlets, and a Walmart. The whole shopping center has no power. No power. And I walk in, I go, well, I guess you guys are closed. And the lady's like, yeah. She's like, we lost power like 20 minutes ago. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, well, I called earlier about, reserving, blah, blah, blah. And she said that I can come back tomorrow and pick it up. So I come back home and I'm getting the podcast set up. And right before we're getting ready to go live, Kratos, my wife comes down and she's like, hey, a tornado hit right down the street from where you're at. And I'm like, what? Dude, a fucking tornado.
Man,
And
you're about to have a really bad night.
Kratos, there was no warning, man. I didn't get anything on my phone. The National Weather Service didn't issue a warning. Nothing, man.
Man,
I'm telling you, man. It's. I wouldn't have being out there. I would have never thought that was going on. And it's funny because I remember hearing like I remember hearing sirens like and police cars going down the street, like heading down towards because the tornado hit another shopping center just down the street from the shopping center I was at.
uh-huh.
And they're like less than a mile from each other. Maybe like a half a mile.
So it was really that close.
Yeah. And so it hit a TJ Maxx. And so now so my wife's like sending me pictures right now of the damage of the TJ Maxx, man. And I'm telling you, dude, I'm looking at it and the roof has caved in parts of the store.
Man.
It's wild, man. The store is damaged. It's wild. I just can't believe it.
Thank God you got out of there quick enough and headed home and everything was good there.
Yeah, and like Forte said, all of this for God of War Collector's Edition. Nobody should ever question whether or not I'm a hardcore gamer.
Right?
I went out in a tornado to get God of War Collector's Edition.
Yeah.
A recommendation of Gaming Forte. Anyhow, but I'm okay. So I want to talk about some of the fuckery and the shit that goes on in the gaming community. I don't even know where to begin, man. And I'm not going to call any names. I got to a point where the shit's it's so ridiculous. Like today, I got cursed out by somebody. Some guy told me to fuck off.
Saw that.
Yeah, because I basically there's a guy out there that had the nerve to call you out, J-Dub.
Yeah.
And this dude, and I'm not going to name his name, and I haven't ever referenced him on this podcast, but I'm going to do it tonight because this is someone, and this is an example of the fuckery and trash that goes on in the gaming community. And look, I know some people are going to get triggered by what I'm about to say. Some people are going to be upset, but I just feel like it needs to be addressed. And yeah, what I'm talking about. Hey, what's up, Wizland? So it's big shout out to live chat, by the way. So this guy tweets out like basically. Hold on for a sec here, J-Dub.
I know.
Give me a sec here. I want to pull this up real quick because I just.
Yeah.
For a fact, I want to pull this up real quick.
Yeah, it's nuts, man.
And it's crazy because let's see here. So this guy, and just give the history of this guy, J-Dub.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I commented, because this is somebody who claims that he's never harassed gaming journalists when in fact gaming journalists have come out and said, "Oh yeah, that guy, he harassed me for weeks about an article regarding the Xbox One that he didn't like, even though what I was writing about was true with the Xbox." So again, this guy getting triggered, J-Dub, over a piece of plastic,
Yep.
decides to harass a game developer, or not a game developer, but a game journalist for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy has a history of this. Now he claims that it is my fault, Mr. Megative's fault, that he has this reputation as someone who harasses people on the internet. But let me ask you something, J-Dub. How many other people do you know who have that reputation?
Let's face it, man. Every single day we can point certain people out that does that when things doesn't go their way.
But here's the crazy thing, and here's the part that kills me, J-Dub. Where is the self-awareness? Where is it that light bulb moment that where you think, hey, you know what? I don't see anyone else being called out for harassment. I don't see other journalists tweeting about other people harassing them except for me. What's the common denominator in all this?
Exactly.
Dude, wake the fuck up.
Yep.
Wake up. And so this dude, this guy, and he's an adult. He's a grown man.
Yep. Especially if you go to his page.
Yeah, he's a grown man. And I know he's probably, I'm telling you, he's gonna hear about this. He's gonna be like, oh, I'm living rent free in his head. No, that's not. This thing is bigger than you, but you're an example of this. Yeah. You're just one example of the dumb shit that goes on in the community.
Yeah.
Right. You're just one example. So this is about you. You're just one example. And this guy, I'm telling you, man, I've seen developers tweet about this guy. And I have the receipts too. See, that's the other thing. You can't argue the facts when people are pulling receipts on you and saying you did this. You can't argue that.
Exactly.
And you can't get on your soapbox and talk about other people. And J-Dub, that's what happened this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, we knew it was temporary, but it's discouraging to see so many in the gaming Twitter welcome back a homophobic troll account because he gives stuff away.
Yeah.
It's not really much of me because he blocked me ages ago and I'm cool staying blocked. No need for that toxicity on my timeline. Really? You felt, Kratos, you blocked this guy, but he felt compelled enough to talk about you.
Yep.
So to the guy that wrote this about you, think about what you're doing. Think about what you just said. Think about how dumb you look. A guy blocks you and he's living rent-free in your head because you're upset that he got unblocked, that he's back on Twitter. And by the way, we're going to address the whole homophobic thing.
Yeah.
Because if people and it's the other thing on Twitter, people like to toss around words without knowing the real definition of it.
Yeah.
If you're going to toss around the word homophobia or say someone's homophobic, at least have an understanding of what the definition of that word means.
Well, we know people these days tend to make up words. They make up the meaning, whatever they feel. Whatever they wake up in the morning and say this word means this. This is what it means to them. And that's the day and time that we live in right now.
Jay, I have never. Let me say, someone who uses homophobia or uses homophobic words is someone who is throwing shade or hate at the gay community.
Yep.
Or referring to people as gay or fags.
Yep.
You didn't do that in this case.
Did not.
And the thing that kills me, J-Dub, is that this guy who tweeted this stuff out talks about toxicity when he's been he's been one of the most toxic motherfuckers out in the Twitter space, harassing people.
Well, and it's funny because literally 2 minutes after the conversation started between you guys on Twitter, less than 2 minutes, he cursed you out and told you to, go F yourself. So how is that not being toxic, right? He couldn't have a civilized.
Well, that was well that he basically became unhinged.
Yes, exactly.
And said, "Hey,
so the guy that was accused of harassing people, developers, the guy,
gaming journalists,
yeah, the guy who I blocked a while back for being crazy. Obviously, I mean, obviously now you see why I blocked the guy. If you can, you tweeted the guy for 2 minutes and that blew up. So you can imagine what I deal with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do it for entertainment.
Exactly.
Like you and Tim Dog have friendly banter back and forth, and you and Tim are cool.
Yeah. Facts. Yep.
And by the way, you're right. This guy who supposedly is not toxic and refers to you as being toxic, he just told me to go fuck myself.
Yep.
In Twitter.
Less than 2 minutes after you guys even tweeted each other. So
yeah. And he said that because look, you gotta understand that when people react that way, when they react in a way that's aggressive,
yeah,
because you've hit a nerve.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know what you're saying is true.
Yeah.
I learned that in life a long time ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you hit somebody where it hurts, you're going to see the worst that person has to offer. You're going to see them at their worst because you've hurt them. It's just unfortunate, man.
Yeah.
But, it wasn't even that though. It's like his friend jumped in and got upset too.
Saw it.
And told me to go fuck off. And I think he said, what did he say?
Yeah.
And then it's funny, man. Like people are angry at you because you're giving away free stuff. One guy responded, I agree. What a bunch of desperate, gibby free stuff, dick riders. If this was an Xbox guy, these same unfit snowflake fans of that troll would have been up in arms crying, screenshotting, video making, photoshopping, meme and gift making like there's no tomorrow.
See, here's the thing, man. And I guess I'll learn my lesson. You just can't be nice to some people. You just can't do something out of kindness of your heart, right? Because the people that are unhinged, the people that are hateful, and the people that don't want to see the community do well, they're gonna hate that. There's a ton of people that have Patreons, people that have super chats and all the financial benefits. Some of those people feel a certain type of way. They don't want people giving things away for free because it makes it seem like they are the ones that's taken from the community and not giving back. So that's a threat to them and how people see them. And I've heard some people tell me that. And this is why some of those guys bring that up. It really hurts them, which is crazy, right? The more people who are out there gaming and enjoying gaming, isn't that better for the community?
It is. And it's crazy, man. I remember when the Xbox One X launched.
Yeah.
You gave like 2 away, I think.
Man, I had like 10 of them, and I gave them away little by little, week after week.
Okay.
And I tell everybody, I do it randomly. I'll get them, and then I'll get my kids to go down my timeline and just randomly select somebody, and that's who will get it. And that's just a little thing that I do. Instead of giving money to all these other different organizations and stuff like that, where there's no controlling who gets what, or there's no accountability. At least I can give back to the gaming community that I'm part of. But at the same time,
why do you do that, man? Like, honestly, man, like, for those people who don't know you, Kratos. What's the motivation behind that?
Well, not when I was growing up, I didn't have it. You see what I'm saying? I wanted the latest games and stuff like that, and I couldn't afford it. So I swore once I got old enough and in a position to be able to do that, I'd make sure that maybe I can give something back to someone else so they wouldn't feel that way. And again, I do it randomly, so it's not like someone's picking and choosing. It's just there. And why not? Why not? Why it shouldn't even be a big deal. I think that's what we should all do. We should all be stewards of each other. Cause a blessing, that cause a blessing to keep coming back on you.
Yeah.
So, but there's always people that are gonna be mad and be upset about different things. I've heard people say some disgusting stuff. Oh, he's just doing this because of this and that. And I'm like, look, I'm not selling anything. I didn't ask anybody to sub to me. I don't have a YouTube or anything else that I'm getting anything back from. I mean, there's other things I could do with my money. So I mean, for what? Like this the internet.
I mean, look,
what possibly can I get out of it? What?
Yeah, I mean, look, not for nothing, but 10 Xbox One X's isn't isn't a drop in the bucket, man. That's a significant amount of change, man.
You have people. Oh, he's buying this, he's buying that for that's like what can these people on the internet give me? What can they possibly offer me?
But what do you? But here's the thing, man. Like, I honestly think part of the problem is people don't have on social media, man. I'm starting to see this, man, because look, I come from a different. Look, I'm Gen X, right?
Mm-hmm.
We actually grew up having real relationships with people, face-to-face communication. We didn't have these. We didn't grow up with these, like I call, like digital friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a knock against millennials or anything, but it just seems to me that this younger generation, or even some people to the extent on Twitter, maybe they didn't have a lot of friends growing up, man. Maybe they lack social norms.
Enrique, I'm gonna tell you what it is.
Something's off.
I'm gonna tell you what it is, right? You have the internet. The internet gives faces to a lot of people that that don't enjoy their lives, that are not happy with themselves, right? So the internet gives a person a face. It gives you a redo. You can be whoever you want to be. But what's really weird, right? You can be whatever you want to be on the internet to whoever is out there. But you choose to be an idiot. Why if you have a second chance, let's say you don't have friends in real life. Let's say you're a loner. Why would you build up a persona online? Why would you be a douchebag online?
You know why, man? Because those people probably get picked on, man. Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of. And Eric Jackson refers to these guys as keyboard warriors or thumb thugs.
Yes.
Like the guy that told me to go fuck myself in capital letters, who was defending his buddy.
Yep.
And said I was pathetic. He's somebody. I'm like, dude, why do you think it's okay to behave this way on Twitter? Like, would you behave this way, in real life in front of people? And if you do behave that way in front of people on a regular basis, I don't know.
They don't. Listen, they don't. They don't act like that in real life. Most of them, I don't know, man. All I can say is, some of them are just losers, and others are just, let's face it, right? The last 5 years in gaming, there's been this imaginary console war going on. Xbox versus PlayStation. And some people are very passionate about their consoles and about their favorite, games and stuff like that. And I get it. I get the passion. It's just like sports. Some people have their favorite teams and they're ride or die for it. But
sports is different, though.
Yeah, you're right.
Because sports is tied to the community which you live in.
Yeah.
Meaning you're typically invested in that community, and it's different. Like it's not like we're like Sony and Microsoft aren't teams. They're products.
That's true.
And so it's not, so they're not rooted. It's not like, like I live, outside the district, Columbia, DC.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the Xbox or the Washington DC Xbox. That's not it.
But Enrique, man, some people think it is.
That shit's crazy.
Seriously, some people in their head, right? They're so caught up in this stuff being real, like in real life. And I think that's why I kind of rub people, a lot of those guys, the wrong way. This is why they hate me so much, because I'm like poking the bear, right?
You're poking fun at the console.
I make fun of it. I laugh at it. I make fun of it. I'm posting the memes and the gifs and stuff on a day-to-day basis. So I'm constantly poking their favorite product that they love and that they worship. And this is their mindset. We hate this guy. We got to get this guy out of here. He's bad for business.
I'll tell you what, man. If
some of these guys, they have a career with trying to sell their product. I mean, they have 300,000 videos on their channel trying to sell their favorite product. And those are the guys that in the past I've called snake oil salesmen.
Tell you what, those guys better hope that Sony and Microsoft never leave the console business.
Oh, they would be devastated. That would. Yeah.
And if you don't think that can happen, history has shown us otherwise. People,
look at Sega.
Look at Atari.
Look at plenty other.
Yeah, people. It's funny, man. People don't realize that you could be top dog today. You could be gone tomorrow.
That's true.
But anyhow, I just this guy, and so Chris, I you've been on the show. I know you. I've seen what you've done in the community, and it's funny. Like people are like, oh, you're defending a guy who, makes these comments, and I'm like, first of all, you guys don't know the definition of homophobia, or that what he was saying wasn't even homophobic by definition, and two, we've seen what he does for the community. No strings attached.
Yeah.
And I'm going to segue to something here. The biggest reason why people like J-Dub were coming to your defense was because, and I'm not going to name any names, but the person that said you were being homophobic, went after another podcaster saying, and actually, we're talking about homophobia, actually really making homophobic comments.
Yes.
And then
decided
to delete those tweets. The problem is that people took pictures before they were deleted, and now there's existing receipts, if you will. And that's the point that people miss. People think that people came to your defense because you were giving away free stuff. No. People were coming to your defense because, one, they know you, they know your character. Two, they know that the person who did this was acting in a way that was hypocritical.
Yeah.
So,
yep. Again, it's the narrative at which people want to spin it or people want to say, right? What I said, I made a comment referencing, we're all adults here. A hand job. It was more of, it's an adult tongue-in-cheek comment. Supposed to be taken at what it is. I mean, we've heard worse in the Twitter sphere.
I mean, when I read it, J-Dub, I'll say this. I thought two things. One, J-Dub, I thought you might have crossed the line there. We talk about this with comedians at times, where comedians kind of push the boundaries.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh man, I laughed at first. I was like, oh man, J-Dub, he probably crossed the line here.
Yeah.
You know, because that someone could be offended by that.
Yeah, and
You know?
to be fair, who was targeted towards, you know, behind the scenes made some comments at me, and you know, and so that was, you know, kind of the whole thing. You know, you poke fun at me, then hey, I'm going to hit you back, and yeah, maybe it was a little bit over the line. Maybe I could have chose a different set of words, but I mean, again, I tried to. At least I thought I was going to get more laughs than not, and I did. I got a ton of laughs, but the guys that weren't laughing, you know, they had more pull than I did. So they sent the cavalry out there at me. So and that got me suspended for, you know, for a few days and stuff like that. And you know, behind the scenes, I was trying to make things right and see if we can kind of make this agreement to agree to disagree, and that didn't happen. So you know, it's okay. I'm fine. If you know, I've you know, life goes on. It was a tongue-in-cheek joke, but the narrative that it was set up as I was being homophobic, and that is not what I was doing, and that's not how it was meant to be taken, and that I can't even see from that how it was taken like that.
Well, I mean,
But back to what you said, it's ironic how the same people who were saying that was homophobic are the ones who actually been spouting homophobic things. I mean, not anything that's a joke or a tongue in cheek. It's straight to the point. You are the F word, the G word, and everything in between.
Yeah,
another YouTuber. So
yes,
the
word,
how you can cry foul on that, but then all of a sudden Kratos is the bad guy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about, the fuckery and the bullshit and the drama in the community. You can't sit there and say, you know, that's like me saying, you know, J-Dub, like you make a joke about Hispanics, right? I'm Latino. You make a joke about me, right?
Yeah.
And then I come and I'm like, oh, J-Dub's being racist. But then on my timeline, you go back and you see me making racist rants about African Americans, right?
Exactly.
I mean, like really, like if you can't,
hypocrite,
you can't,
right?
where's the thought process here? Where, I mean, this is the part that kills me. Where is the thought process? Where are people's brains?
Yeah.
I mean, how can you not? How can you not for 1 minute? You know what you said in the past. You know what you said in the past. How can you for 1 second go out there and accuse someone of something you've done, not once, not twice,
Yep,
but on multiple occasions, and then you go and you delete your Twitter account because you know why you delete your Twitter account?
Yep.
Because you know what the blowback was going to be.
Yep.
But at that point, it was too late because people had copied the receipts.
Once it's on the internet, it's always there. There's no going back. So,
and by the way,
that's the hypocritical stuff. That's there, man. That's there. And this is how you know it was a fake narrative, right? It's like, yeah, I don't want to go back and forth with this guy. I don't want to battle back. I don't want to say anything back. So what I'm going to do is just change the narrative and use this as this is over the line. Let's get this guy out of here. That's it. Final straw. Let's all band together. And I'm like, what? Like, seriously? Is it that deep?
You hit a nerve, man.
Hey, I must have hit something.
You hit a nerve. That's the only thing I can. You hit a nerve.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, man. I'm not gonna say that. I'll get in trouble saying I'm not gonna say that. But but you hit a nerve, and I'll say this though. I'll say that all of this over consoles.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what this person said to someone else, the tweets that he deleted, and he was referring to other people as gay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all over consoles.
Yeah.
And this is the problem. Like, what these are. Yo, if you take this thing so seriously, you get mad. You need help.
Yeah.
Because I don't look. Look, I get upset like when people say, "Tell me to fuck off."
Yeah.
You know, but if someone says something about the Xbox or the place, I don't care.
Exactly.
You know, if a YouTuber doesn't agree with me, I don't care. You know, and look, I've had issues with other YouTubers.
Mhm.
You know, I've made amends with a lot of other YouTubers.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, it's about video games, and you know, I I think for me, man, a light bulb moment happened with all the shootings and shit that were going on, and they were trying to blame gaming, right?
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, man, all this fucking nonsense, all this dumb shit over Twitter about gaming, when we're arguing about something that we all love.
That's
Like
true.
that's the thing that should bring us together, not tear us apart.
But Enrique, one thing you need to realize, right? Not all of not everybody in the game that's appear to be in the gaming community are there for gaming.
That's true. I
Some
agree.
people use the community as a gateway for other things, whether it's financial benefit, whether it's some other kind of benefit.
Yeah.
Some people are just not there to play games. They're just there to get their benefit of what they need out of it, and they'll use the gaming community for whatever they need. But a lot of it is for financial gains. Some of it is for other things.
Someone to feel tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
I
some
feel
people
tough.
are they hate they don't like themselves in real life, so they create this online persona and that makes them feel tough. So they
I
get
feel,
on there, they get to spout some stuff, and then they cry and whine all day, harass developers, harass executives, cry media bias all day. I mean, just all kind of stuff.
you know what's interesting, man, is that you could tell a lot by how certain people react on Twitter and their comments. You can get a lot of insight into how they feel about themselves.
Yeah.
Because when you surround yourself with people who have high self-esteem, a high level of character, you don't see that behavior. You don't see them flying off the deep end right away because they value who they are. They care about how other people perceive them because
Yeah.
they have pride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I just, it's just I think for me it's, I don't, I'm not one to go out there and you know like I just couldn't do that to someone. You know what I'm saying? Like trying
Yeah.
to get someone banned. I just, honestly, man, when I saw that Curtis, man, I'm telling you, man, I thought to myself, it's like that's just malicious, man. And look, hey, Kratos, I'll be upfront with you. I thought the joke was kind of I thought the joke was overstepping the lines there,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I didn't think the blowback was appropriate. I thought the best course of action would have been, hey, you know what? We're all men here. Let's
Yeah.
hash it out on DM.
Stop. Yep.
Let's sit down, have a discussion. Let's have a sit down. Let's
Yep.
talk about it. Let's like men, like grown men, not just bitch shit of, you know what? I'm gonna get everyone after you and try to get you banned.
Yeah. Listen, I come from a different creed, man. We don't.
Yeah, me too.
We
That
don't.
you don't do that. You
Yeah.
sit down like a man, face to face, and you hash it out.
Yeah.
You don't get other people. Oh, I'm gonna get so and so to. No, you don't do that.
Yeah. We
Where
don't.
I'm from,
We don't call the cops. We don't snitch. We
no,
don't. Especially over plastic.
snitches get stitches.
Yeah.
No, hey, let me tell you something, Chris. I'm telling you, man. I hear where you coming from, man. Because where I'm from, man, it's the same thing, man. If you don't, I'm telling you, Chris. If you could only hear what we were saying, man, when we saw what happened, man, it just
Yep.
and not just me. A lot of people were saying, yeah, that was kind of weak to go out like that to do that to him.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with what he said,
Yeah.
but that was weak how you handle it. Sit down like men, hash it out, have a conversation. I've had differences with YouTube, other YouTube content creators. I've sat down with them and I've hashed it out.
Yeah.
Look, I've had my issues with Mooch, right?
Yeah.
We sat down, we talked about it, we hashed it out. He's been on my show, I've been on his show. That's how you do it. You know,
Yeah.
none of this like, oh, let's gang up on him. Let's
Yeah.
get him banned. Shit's ridiculous, man. I'm sorry, man. I just come from a different. Maybe I was just born at a different time, man,
Yeah.
and live by a different creed.
Well, look, this is how you know this stuff affects them emotionally and mentally, and that the guys really take these plastic games and this stuff really seriously. They take it to heart. You listen, you've seen me for over a year, 2 years. I'm on Twitter every day with cracking jokes, putting my gifts and my memes, and just kind of bantering back and forth between the people that I know. That's what I do, you know. But once you let me know that this piece of plastic really affects you emotionally, and I can get to you, then guess what? Now I'm focusing in on that because I'm really curious. Why are you so serious about this stuff? Like this is not healthy.
It's not. You know what? It really it isn't healthy.
It's not healthy
It's
for
not
you.
healthy at
It's
all.
not like
It,
there's some psychiatric stuff going on.
no, absolutely. I've seen people, and look, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not, but um, you could tell like that there's some people that antisocial personality disorder. Um, you can tell there's people that have low self esteem. I mean, you can see it in just how they behave,
Yeah.
you know, and it just, yeah, man, it blows. Honestly, man, I'm tired of it, man. And it just got to a point after I saw that about you,
Yeah.
and just Jay, because I've known you for such a long time now. You know, I know that you're not somebody who's you know who hates homosexuals. You're not that person.
Of course.
You don't hate people.
Of course.
You know, that's not you. You have never in DM and in interaction with people on BRAP, and giving people, Xbox One X's, you know, you've never displayed malicious behavior.
Nah, I
No.
mean, again, this stuff is it's for if it's for comedic value. You know, I'm the one that call myself a troll on Twitter. You know, I made that name for myself. You know, that's the persona of Kratos. I'm the guy that's going to poke fun, create the memes, the gifs, and the quick wit jokes and stuff like that. That's what it's been about. And talking about gaming, being on here, being on other podcasts. Um, Again, I'm not looking for any monetary value out of being on this show or anybody else's show or just talking about gaming. This is a hobby for us, and this is what we like, and nothing wrong with fellowshipping with each other and talking about games. But you got to realize that um some people throw out the word toxic, and most people who do that, they are the toxic ones. They are the ones who's taking this stuff too seriously. They don't like people having fun on Twitter and going back and forth with their friends and just having a good time. It seems like they're so busy with the war, they can't liven up and just have fun with just having games.
Man, I think people have
PTSD, man.
post traumatic stress disorder, man. I think people have that from the console wars. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
people are shook, man.
yeah,
And it's like, why? Let me tell you something. This has been one of the best, and you got to understand something. And I've said this about people, like people talk about media bias and stuff. And I say, it's not that the media is biased; it's that they are going to. People talk about journalism. Well, journalism it's another definition. The definition of journalism. People don't understand the definition of journalism. I think it's just only about reporting facts, right?
yeah.
Um, Also, if you look at the definition of journalism, it's also hold on, I want to pull this up real quick because I want to make sure that I don't misquote it. Oh, one second here, man. So if you look at the definition of journalism it isn't just about presenting facts, right?
Of course not.
It's about presenting ideas, opinions, right?
Yep.
But if you look at the definition, it's one of the definitions is writing designed to appeal to current popular taste or public interest. That is that is the definition of journalism. One of the definitions of journalism, right?
Yep.
I want to repeat this. Writing designed to appeal to current popular taste or public interest. So when people are saying that these journalists aren't being journalists, and I'm not saying that all journalists are good. Some of them are garbage, right?
Yeah.
Like, I made fun of Paul Tassi the other day because he tweeted out that he couldn't find the save menu in Red Dead Redemption 2. I
Yeah.
said, dude, what the fuck, man? Come on, man. You write for Forbes. Jesus.
Yeah.
But when you read the definition of journalism, then you would understand why there's a lot of articles about the PlayStation. Right?
Yep. Listen,
It was the same thing last console gen.
here's the thing, right?
360.
Media bias exists to those who are losing in this console war, and that's just what that is. And there's no such thing as media bias. Whether they support Microsoft or they support Nintendo or Sony, these guys get paid regardless. Here's the facts: there is just more to write about from PlayStation and Nintendo than there is for Xbox right about now, and that's kind of been the whole gen, right?
Well, I mean, yeah.
every pretty much every, if you're gonna write something to the one that's losing in this so-called console war, it's going to tend to be negative things, right? Well, why isn't this console selling more? Why isn't it doing this? Why isn't it doing that? And do you want every piece of media outlet really talking about that? No, because then you're going to start crying about that. So people, if there's no games that came out this month, what do you expect them to write about?
But do you remember? Oh, wait, do you remember when Digital Foundry was their bias? Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And even that crazy idiot who tweeted about you this morning.
Yeah,
He's gone out of his way to say that Digital Foundry's bias. When in fact, what did they say about Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Xbox One X? They praised it.
Yep.
Said it's the best version.
Is that time of the day. See, here's the thing about Digital Foundry and these others. They're biased, they're in the pockets of Sony, unless they say a good word about something Xbox. And then they're all fair, they're great analysts, and they did everything by the book. Again, the bias only exists in the minds of people who don't really think they made a great choice in selecting the product. That's what that is. Every week, every day, every month, they're trying to justify their purchase that they had this generation. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I'm just over this console war shit. I tell you what, B Money said it best the other day on DM. He said, "You know what, man?" He goes, "I can't wait for next console generation so we can get over this resolution bullshit."
Mm-hmm. It's not going to change, bro.
I hope so. I hope it does.
It's not.
I really hope so, man.
It is not. It's not going to change.
That's
The next generation, the guys will be whining because guess what? Somebody's going to be selling more than the other one, and that's just, we've always had a console war. We've always had competition. You don't remember Sega versus Nintendo back in the day, and
Sega does with Nintendo.
and Sony versus Nintendo. Crash Bandicoot standing outside the Nintendo, building. Come on out, plumber. Come out to play. Ready to beat up Mario. Like, these guys battled back and forth. They've always did that.
And they were probably more ruthless back then too.
Way more ruthless. I mean, having your mascot stand out in front of Nintendo's corporate office, calling the plumber out. I mean, that was That was pretty hardcore back then.
People don't remember E3 1994 or 5. The Sega Saturn had launched at $399. Sony comes out with the PlayStation. This is Sony's, first foray into the console business. People don't remember this. Sony came out right after Sega's press conference.
Yep.
Sony comes out and says $299, drops the mic and walks off the stage.
Yeah.
And that set the tone. Sega never recouped. That's the failure of the Dreamcast. So I mean, it's just, you're right, man. But you know what? Let the corporations fight for $4. Let's not fight for them. I mean, we're not getting paid for this shit.
But that's why you're wrong. That's why you're wrong. You got guys out here, again, they're salesmen. They're snake oil salesmen, and they've been doing this for 5 years. Just look at their channels. Every single day they'll do a podcast telling you how their product is just so great, how you're just missing out. And I'm like, if it was that great, right, I wouldn't have to do a show every single day telling people how great it was. Consumers are pretty smart. People speak with their wallets, and that's just simple.
Well, they probably do that too, because they're reaping the benefits of the insecurity of other consumers, right? There's people that need to come back and feel reinvigorated, feel like you said, that their purchase is validated now.
Yep.
That herd mentality. I don't know, man. I'm getting too old for this shit, J-Dub.
Look, man. Here's the thing about it, right? You do not want to be in a position where you say that you let this stuff spoil your fun in gaming. Let's not do that. We can't let a few asshats, right, spoil our hobby. We can't do that. We got to keep that passion. And I don't know, call me old school or not, but I thoroughly enjoy standing outside the line at console launch, waiting for the console. I mean, that's what I as a kid, it's been like that, and ever since then, that's what we kind of live for, right? E3 time come, everyone's all it's kind of like watching the Super Bowl. Everybody's hype, everybody's happy. It's like the Super Bowl of gaming. We look forward to stuff like that. That's all year long. We're like, wait to E3. That's kind of like been the mantra. We can't stop that, man. We can't let people mess that up. Yeah, there's some guys out there making money, and they don't really care about gaming to that extent. They're just using it as they see fit. But we can't let the small minority mess it up for the majority. It's a small community as it is. Yeah, we need to stick together, but we also need to have fun. We can't be too, this can't become a job. And I feel like this has become a job to a lot of people. And so that's why they're mad, angry. This is why they take it seriously.
Yeah, I can see that, man. I mean, I think to an extent you're right. People have taken this way too serious, and they've forgotten at the end of the day what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. It's a great point.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's not a lot of, guilty pleasures in life, but gaming is one of them for me. It's like my wife, she goes shoe shopping all the time. Well, gaming is like my guilty pleasure,
So, did your wife shoe shop the way you buy video games?
Dude, don't even ask, man. Don't.
Not just that you buy video games. Excuse me. I've seen your whole Forza setup.
Yeah. Hey, you
know what's funny? You got a Forza setup, like you're a car, and half these Xbox fanboys don't even have anything close to that.
Yeah, man. I'm just a little toxic. I'm a little small time toxic gamer out here in these streets.
Yeah.
Still in Xbox thunder.
Yeah. Too bad you're out here supporting developers, manufacturers.
Yeah.
Supporting others in the community. Giving away consoles. Come on, man. These people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the smaller stuff. The bigger stuff is, whatever you do, you can't talk about Xbox or you can't talk about this or that. You got to keep it serious. So, again, we're supposed to have fun in gaming. I thoroughly enjoy the back and forth banter that we have on Twitter because at the end of the day, believe it or not, most of the people that end up arguing with me on Twitter, they end up following me and vice versa, and we end up conversating. We end up, actually good friends.
Yeah, like you and Tim, right? You guys talk.
Yeah, that's my boy, man. That's shout out to Tim Dog, man. That's my boy. We go back and forth all the time over games, but at the end of the day, it's all love and we both support each other and others out there. So it's it's just a handful of people that they can't joke around. They take it way too seriously, and and a lot of them are just emotionally distraught this generation.
I call them Carl Thomas.
Yeah, there you go. Carl Thomas.
I'm emotional. I just can't let go. Oh boy.
But yeah, man, on a good note, about a month ago, I was with my daughter. We were at the mall, and this small mom and pop store called 3D Games.
Mm-hmm.
They were going out of sale like the next day. This was a Saturday. So I went in there and I asked them, I was like, hey man, how much for your games and stuff? And they were like, well, it got different prices. I said, no, I want everything. Like all the shelves, all the games. Like they had Atari, they had Sega Genesis, they had Super Nintendo. I mean, they had everything. Just everything. I said, no, since you guys are going out of sale, how much is everything? So they called me back the next day, that next morning, and said, yeah, the owner said he'll let everything go for $750. And
what?
I did a double take. I was like, what?
How many? So are these like? So this is like a small mom and pop shop video game store.
Yes.
And so he had. I mean, like, how many games do you think there were?
Thousands. When I say, it took me 2 trips to go and get all that stuff.
Hey, J-Dub, if you don't mind, man, you need to put this on Twitter, man.
Dude, I'm gonna. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it right now.
I mean, you know why? Because this, dude, that's incredible, man.
Yes, I couldn't believe it myself. But sure enough, man, that's what happened. And I showed up that next day, and sure enough, he said he was letting it go cheap because if not, he was gonna have to put it in auction and deal with that. And so, if you guys ever see any stores going out of business, you guys can definitely get some great deals.
$750. Damn.
Dude, wait till you see it. I'm still kind of shocked. So what I want to do is get my kids to catalog the stuff for me.
Mm-hmm.
And at least I can catalog, see what a ton of stuff is worth.
Nice, man.
I know it's worth a lot, but still, I mean, it's just yeah.
Damn, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Kratos, man, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the show, but hey, man, it's great to see you back, and it's great to have you back on BRAP, man. You're always welcome, and always appreciate a lot of the positive things you do in the community, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, thanks for all the love and everything you guys showing me while I was on lockdown. But I'm back now, and I'm not going to stop doing what I do. I enjoy talking to you guys and having fun and gaming and stuff like that. And so that's just what I'm going to do.
Yeah, man, no doubt. Well, again, man, you're always welcome here on BRAP, and all of us are happy to see you back in the Twitter space, and we gotta get you back on again, man.
Definitely, man.
So, hey, big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you guys for popping in. Saw some faces that I haven't seen in a long time. Envy of Astora, haven't seen you in a while, but thanks for popping in. All Day Digital was in the live chat for a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe he's still here listening. I don't know. But yeah, big shout out to everyone again in the live chat. Thank you for stopping by. Remember, hit that like button, subscribe as well, and we'll be back next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell you what, man, we've been a crazy evening. Survived the tornado. Was out in the middle of a tornado. All to get God of War Collector's Edition.
Hey, I'll tell you this. If it's one game you want to go out in a tornado, it is God of War. Shout out to one of the greatest games of all times, and maybe the game of the year. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to email what's his name?
Corey Barak.
Not Corey. Actually, I should reach out to him on Twitter, but hold on a sec here, man. I'll tell you who. Because I was in contact with him right when God of War was being released. Hold on a sec here. Dude, I'm gonna have to reach back out to Aaron Kaufman over at Sony. I was in contact with him when God of War released, but I'm gonna have to tell him about the tornado incident. All right, everyone. Well, thank you again for coming by, J-Dub, man. Thank you again, sir.
Thanks, I appreciate it, man.
And everyone, please hit the like button, subscribe. We'll be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have some great guests coming up next week. Keep an eye out for that. And hey, everyone, enjoy your weekend gaming. Peace.
Peace.